Okay, Ryan,
How you doing?
doing fantastic.
Great.
How are you doing?
Excellent. I'm awesome. I'm trying to get this
I'm
thing.
I've been tired. I've been tired today, and it's not that food takes away my energy, but I even went and got some food and thought maybe my body just needs some medication. I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
but trying to get energy. Have you
I'm
been feeling that, or have you just
feeling super. Yeah, I'm super tired today. Actually, yeah. Um yesterday a little bit too.
yeah,
Actually, yeah.
yeah. Well, yesterday it would have been from 11 o'clock or 10:30 all the way through to this morning at
hmm
11:30,
Yeah.
because we are in Pisces.
Mm.
And Pisces, spacey, floaty. I don't want to do anything. I want to lay on the couch.
hmm
And pretty much that's what I did after my day. I mean, I had a busy day, but after my 5 o'clock, my last appointment, I just laid out. I didn't do
Yeah.
anything. So
Um.
how do we use breath work to change our state today?
Uh. Yeah, it's perfect. Today was. You were talking about charging a little bit, and that's kind of what this breath is. Um. And I do a lot of. I do this one. This one's like with just like general fascial work, but I like to work from like the top, from the crown all the way down to the feet, pretty
Should I
much. So
sit or stand?
seated is going to be good for this. Even a chair would be good, yeah. Um, because I'll kind of explain a little bit, and we can kind of go into it. We'll be breathing, but we'll be just kind of going through. I like to start with like the hair and like the scalp and like pulling and kind of doing this work all the way down to the cheeks, and I'll kind of coach through it as we go. But all you're doing is basically just is manipulating fascia.
Yeah,
And we're kind of just
yeah.
pulling a lot of all like general stuff, nothing specific. We won't really go over any like specific maneuvers or anything like that. We're going to do all that stuff, working ourselves all the way down to our feet. Um, and while we're doing it, we're going to be using the breath, and we'll stop a few times, and we'll do some holds and that kind of stuff.
Okay,
Um,
cool.
but when we do the holds today, I want we're actually going to do an exhale retention, so a suspension. Um, and I want everybody that's doing this, you'll be seated, but we're going to go a little bit longer for some people. It's totally subjective. But if it feels really intense, I just want you to do these little puffs. So you'll have your exhale, and then say your air hunger gets really high, you're just going to go like this and keep holding with us.
Okay.
So as many times you need to do that, that's fine. But we're gonna do all this manipulation. We're gonna start with the breath only, and then we're gonna get into our first round of the manipulation, starting from the scalp, and I'll coach through that as we go.
Okay.
Cool,
Cool.
cool. So the first breath pattern is in the nose, out the mouth, and we're gonna go 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. No pause at either end. So I'll coach you through it. Let's all just like start with a big exhale, push it all out, and then back in for 4, 3, 2, 1, out. 3, 2, 1, in. 3, 2, 1, out. In, out. Keep this rhythm going. And when you're doing this, I want you to try to find, like, make it a full breath, peak volume on both ends. So you're trying to get, in a 4 seconds, you're trying to get that whole breath in the nose, out the mouth. We're just kind of prepping here. Now I'd encourage you to close your eyes and just kind of address some areas in the body that you want to bring attention to. Because this practice is really cool in terms of either invigorating or actually some trauma release, but on a really soft approach. So it's kind of like a holotropic style, but really soft. And instead of gripping on to the emotion, we're using our hands and our body to release. All right, now let's go 3 more breaths out, in, big. 2 more breaths, fully out. Bigger breath in, breath out, all the way out. Push it all the way to the bottom and hold right here. Stay with it. This is our first hold. Now I want you to start on the scalp while you're holding, and you're going to kind of pull there and kind of get into the scalp like you're washing your hair. And you can do anything you see Garry doing too. I like pulling, and then you can rotate a little bit on it if you want. And again, if you feel that urge to breathe, take those little sips and stay with us. Now, big breath breath all the way in. Hold again. And now as we exhale, we're going to go right back into the movement, but we're going to keep that same breath pattern going. We're still holding right now. And when you exhale, we're going to go right back into the same 4-4. Okay? And let's go out. 4, 3, 2, 1. In. 3, 2, 1. Out. 3, 2, 1. In. 3, 2, 1. Out. Keep that going. And now, as you breathe, I want you to start working through the ears, through the jaw. And you'll find this first part's going to be a little hard to breathe. Pulling through the sinuses as well, under the eyes.
Holding here or breathing still?
Still breathing. Yeah, now we're breathing. Full breaths. Once we get past the face, it'll be a little easier to breathe. Starting to work down to the back of the neck. And I like to pull down like you're like kneading through in the neck. And this is mainly fascia and your skin, not so much digging into the muscle. Just trying to keep it. Now we're working down into the chest, keeping that breath pattern going, pulling down. I like to use 2 hands, pulling on the fascia, working onto the arms. And it's like just twisting. Same with the elbows. It's a fascia maneuver. I mean, you can move the arms up over here. Just keep that breath going, fully in, fully out. That 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out, in the nose, out the mouth. When we get done with this arm over here, we're going to go back into the breath pattern. We're going to take it a little bit faster. And then we're going to do another hold. And pause. Now, let's go double time. 2 in, 2 out. Same breath through the nose, out the mouth. And in. 1, 2, out. 2. In, 2. Out. 2. Full breath still. Out. 2. In, 2. Out. 2. In, 2. Out. 2. Circular breath, unending, continuously going in the nose, out the mouth. Try to relax the body. And I want you to start, as you're breathing here, I want you to try to just relax and try to feel what you just did, basically from your chest up. I want you to feel the difference in your body from the movements you just did and just sitting with the eyes closed, feeling that vibration, feeling that charge you got going on, just the difference that you have on those 2 halves. And now deep breath in, build tension, pull breath in, pull another breath in, build tension in the body, and then release. We're going to hold at the bottom, hold the breath. And now, if you don't know those organ resets, then you can just kind of dig into the underneath the ribs here. You can kind of just pull through here, rotate the body. Again, we're moving as much as you can. And this is just very general and very global. We're still holding the breath. On the exhale, really try to dig into this. Pulling up, find your hip bone, pull up from the center. Keep that breath in. Keep moving those hands across there. Now bring them to your lower back. And again, if you need to breathe, take your little sips and come back to it. There's just global. There's no really wrong, right answer here. You're just kind of moving the skin, moving the fascia through as much as you can. And now, inhale, deep breath all the way up.
I gotta tell you something. That was weird.
You can take a look. Okay, let's take a little breathe of what you got.
So, the oxygen
the
in the tissues, like when we go underneath the water and I push the oxygen out, I blew everything out. And then all of a sudden I'm full of oxygen in my lungs. And I'm like, what? I blow it out again. I full of oxygen in my lungs. I blow it out again because I'm moving the tissue. It's pushing the oxygen into the lungs. I'm like, where? I didn't breathe. Where did that come from?
That's pretty wild, huh?
That is really wild.
Well, let's keep going. Finish this one off, and then we'll kind of chat about it a little bit in a second. But let's go right back into the 4-4 breath. Okay. So now again, let's breathing 4-4. So let's go deep breath in all the way up, and then out. 4, 3, 2, 1. In. 3, 2, 1. Out. 3, 2, 1. Keep going right here. All right. Now bring one foot up. Can't really see. But bring, yeah, one foot up like onto your knee. And now we can kind of dive into the quad and the hamstring here and all the muscle and kind of twist. Again, we're trying to mostly do on the skin. Just kind of getting it all through there. And yeah, you can extend as you twist, extend as you twist, and kind of counter twist against it even. Like think rotate this way as you rotate this way. I'm just trying to get all that around the knee. There's that wonderful fascial maneuver here. So Gary's doing there. Working that. And then you can go down into the shin, into the calf. And then you can bring that foot back up. And now we're working to the foot, into the plantar fascia down here. Pulling. Because if you know, plantar fascia is myofunctionally connected to our lungs and our diaphragm. So getting all this loosened up, you should notice that breath. And now we are going to go to the other leg, and then we'll do our last hold. So keep that breath going. Again, keeping that breath moving fully here. I'm just working on to that last half of the leg here, into the heels of the plantar fascia. Moving the feet. And then come back to center here. And now we're going to go right into our 2-part breath. So a double time here. And in, 2, out, 2. In, 2, out, 2. Mouth only here. In, 2, out, 2. In, 2, out, 2. Keep that rhythm going right here. Okay? Keep the eyes closed. And now keep that breath moving. And I want you to feel your body. I want you to feel the sensation, feel the charge, feel the release, feel the vibration. Feel the difference of you from where you started to where you're at. And now deep breath all the way to the top. Bring it all the way in. Fill to the top. Hold right here. Draw the belly in. We're going to rotate with that breath held 3 times. 2 times. 1 time. And exhale to the bottom. Fully out. Exhale. And then relax the body. And hold the breath right here. And fully relax. Close the eyes. Sink into it. And just become aware of what's going on in your body. What did you release? What did you move? What sensations are coming up? And then how does that play a role on your mind, on your thoughts that were around before when we started, and your emotional body as well? Just be aware globally of what you're feeling. We're almost to the end of this hold. Again, if you need to, you can take that little breath in and right back out and hold with us again. Almost there, 10 seconds. 5 seconds till we take that massive, big, life-giving breath back in and bring it all the way up as big as you can. Release, relax, come back down to central, to center, and back to your source. How are you feeling, Gary?
I'm high.
A little bit of a high, yeah. You get pretty high this one.
Yeah, I'm very high. Like I want to just I want to just lay down.
Yeah, you go ahead and lay down.
Yeah, bring food.
Bring some food. Just you can go for a swim or something.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm very high. Seriously, and like complete change from the state earlier. I purposely didn't try to fix myself coming into CO Tuesdays. I wanted this to be the change element. So I wasn't trying to rev myself up. I took some fascial fuel that hasn't hit yet, but I wanted to see the breath work come in and take over, and man, I feel good. I feel loose everywhere too.
Beautiful, yeah.
I can feel all my joints are lubricated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is like my morning coffee. Sometimes I'll do this little practice. Just feel, or if I'm like down in the day, after whatever, some midday.
Next time we
little.
spend time together, we're gonna do 2 of these a day, every day for like 7 days. Lock it in my brain just so I do it.
Yeah.
For me,
I'd love to do that.
very, when it comes to the body, I'm very repetition based orientated.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean that's yeah. I think that like applying that kind of stuff again, just like we always talk about, like breath and fascial maneuvers and breath and this kind of release, just like even generally doing that kind of stuff, it's just like it's just they're built for each other. It's just it's meant to be a system. It's not instead of one without the other. But um, yeah, I would love to run like a little test on running it multiple times a day, seeing what the difference we could do with that is.
Yeah, because I've been testing my breath since last week, and my general breath when I'm just kind of doing nothing is like 3 to 4,
Mm.
and if I lay down and rest, I'm 1 to 2 on a regular basis. So and I know because I spent a lot of time testing my breath for years. That's a significant change, and the only thing that's really I haven't done any cardiovascular or a lot of breath work in particular. That's just fascial maneuvers.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, I mean that's yeah, because your fascial maneuvers definitely is a down regulation of the nervous system as well.
Yeah,
So
it's
that'll
opening
change your breath
up the
rate.
tissue to get oxygen there
Yeah.
easier. So oxygen's like anything else. If your tissue's dehydrated and compressed, oxygen's got to get through there, and it's harder. If it's nice and loosey goosey,
Yeah.
and the fascial layer is open, then it can populate the tissue really quickly.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense for sure.
Are we done? That?
That's it, man. That's the little practice we're
Okay, well
doing today, and then I was gonna
let's see how
chat
people
about it.
let's see how people are feeling about it. Easier. I'm in. Okay, that was cool. Lubricated joints, yes, that's how I feel. Should feel each other. Should we hold each other accountable? Sure. Yeah, I don't need accountability to do stuff. I like to do repetitions with people. I'm a generator, human design for all you guys. And so a generator is like, if you ask me like, hey, Gary, I'm like, up, no matter what, I'll be sleeping. They go, hey, Gary. And I'm like, whoa, oh, what do I need to do? I turn on to the request, right?
Mm.
That's just how it is. For me, it took me a long time to do a self-care practice like fascial maneuvers as a regular thing, but I felt so high and there was so much stress in my life that the stress in my life is what got me to finally do it. And I used to beat myself up because like, why won't I do this for myself? But like I go to the gym, but I need to see somebody else there working out. As soon as they would work out, then I would work out.
Mm. Yeah.
I used to think it was competition, but it wasn't. It's just a generator.
Mm.
Okay, so let's somebody who wants to ask a question, Ryan, can you put it in the comments right now? Hard to relax and take care of ourselves. Yeah, it is. I mean, Serenity Now Wellness. That's because she's a Scorpio Sagittarius. That's why.
Hmm. Yeah, it's easy for us to give, but it's hardest to give to ourselves, to give to others.
Magna, are you on a plane? I think she might be on a plane. Is that what it is? I think she's on a plane right now. Is that possible? Can you be? You can watch a stream on a plane, can't you?
Yeah. I mean, well, if you have Wi-Fi, it might
Yeah.
be kind of.
Yeah. All the planes have Wi-Fi now, don't they? Well, except
Most.
yeah. Could this be good for neuropathy? What would you say?
Um, I don't know. I mean,
Okay,
it could be bad for neuropathy, but
opinion.
I'm not sure if that'll be.
I have an opinion.
Yeah.
So, yeah, oxygen neuropathy exists within the layers of fascia. So basically, a nerve goes through fascial layers. If it's dehydrated or contracted, it can cause signaling to the brain. Dehydration is the worst one. So just like you did the breath work here and your joints feel more lubricated, that means your fascia is more lubricated. That means the nerve is more lubricated. There's less friction in the nerve. So yeah, super good for neuropathy.
Mm.
Somebody was asking about, would you recommend people on an aromatase inhibitor and can't take hormone replacement muscle aches back? Yeah. What you do recommend? What we just did with fascial maneuvers. This is the one here. I'll pin it. So what we just did with fascia and adding this to this routine here to a fascial maneuver routine is exactly what you would do. Because they're basically on inhibitors and can't take hormone replacement therapy. So they get muscle aches, lack of sleep, brain fog. So this would really, really help out this breathing style. What do you suggest for vax detoxification? Well, not quite in the breathwork realm right now, but breathwork is a big part of that, by the way, because where does the heavy metals, like the most deleterious part of the vaccines are the heavy metals. I don't even know if I can actually say that, but it's the heavy metals. But the heavy metals, what happens with heavy metals is they lodge within the fascial tissue, and that's where they sit, and they affect the fascia's ability to function. Think about aluminum being inside of water conducting electricity. You're trying to send electricity across, you're pinging with all the aluminum. That's basically what it is. A second here. Let's go to Ruby Jean. Ruby Jean is another Gemini. I think you've talked to her once right before, didn't you?
I just see her name, screen name. I'm not sure.
Ruby Jean.
That was just Ruby.
It's just Ruby Jean. It's just my picture.
Oh yeah.
You know me. Hi Ryan, how are you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Hi. So I actually wanted to join before the breath work, but you know how the universe works. So I'm here for a reason. So I have 4 other older sisters, and their mother finally passed away. She had cancer all through her body, so she passed away yesterday morning at like 6 or something like that. So I am plagued with a feeling of, as healers, how do you, as healers and in breath work, we can tie this together, how do you come back to yourself and not feel bad for other people's disease? How do you not take that judgment on, and where do you go in your body to get strength? Sorry about the TV.
Yeah. You want me to answer this? You want me to answer this?
Yeah.
What I would say.
Go ahead. From your point of view,
We got a lot of echoes going on, so I'm not sure what that is, but
Is that me? If it's too hard, Ryan, we can rejoin later, okay?
We'll answer the question.
We'll answer it.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, so okay, there's 2 parts of that. One is taking on the emotions from others. The other one is how to regulate myself. So I think the best part is what kind of breath practice would you do to regulate all those heavy emotions, would you say?
So there's a couple different techniques that I've used personally, because I understand that, and I've been through it, and I'm sure every human being has. So, but the way I've started it is, I did go into a heavier practice in the beginning. That was my limit, and that's how I responded to it. This is totally anecdotal in my experience. I actually had to push myself into one of the more intense sessions I've ever done, which opened that window and opened my eyes and my third eyes to be able to receive or not receive those energies as I guess it would be, and like kind of like today's practice, like where you don't want to retain them, you want to experience them, and then you want to let them leave. So a lot of times in like a holotropic style of breath, where we'll sit in that emotion for so long, and it can be super healing, and you'll cry and you'll release. But sometimes we have to like allow them to come in or process, and then we use those physical like kind of stuff we were doing today to help release and not hold on to them, so that they're sitting in our body for so much. That's what I did for myself, at least, and that's what my
and so you're both Gemini, so likely you probably get in your head about it.
Yeah.
What about someone who's been holding trauma for a long time? So the length of time, do you get people asking about that? And it's difficult to take deeper breaths.
Yeah. So I mean, I haven't really met anybody that's been holding on to trauma that hasn't been too long.
Yeah.
I guess it's subjective, because there's the point when I reach somebody when they're going towards a breath session, it's because they are having problems processing. So length of time is subjective, but it's always too long when we're suffering from it. So yeah. So what was the second part of the question?
Well, it's difficult to take deeper breaths.
Okay. Yeah, it is part of the practice. I mean, it's not something that comes immediate, and it's most likely because you are in a constant state of hypervigilance, and you're always shallow breathing. So when you always shallow breathe, you never have the experience of finding a deep breath, and that's where maybe like one of these practices would be good for you. A trauma release session would be good for you. It might be a little intense for some people, but that's where I think it would be most effective.
What about Ryan? Like someone who has been holding on too long, their fight or flight, they can't even get a breath. What is a quick breath technique that they could do like 8 or 9 times a day to help downregulate their system? Like something that's quick, non-invasive to their lifestyle.
Yeah. I think there's quite a few. So I mean, like multiple times a day, if you want something to tap into really quick. My favorite breath is it's very simple. It's basically just going to be 2 breaths in and one sighing breath out. So it's kind of like the
Uh,
you know
uh,
yeah, that's it. So basically,
uh, uh. Yeah, that actually works really well. If you did that for a minute, like 8 times a day,
hmm
that would help out a lot.
yeah.
Because I notice that when I'm under a lot of stress, I'll make sighing noises like, oh man, oh it's so tough. Oh.
hmm Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah.
haven't had that. It's funny because I haven't had that in my life in quite some time, at least over a year.
Mm.
But I remember because that sighing breath would trigger Jason.
Oh yes, he's like,
Yeah,
stop it.
and here it
Yeah.
is. I'm in stress. We're both in stress, and I'm triggering him because I'm sighing, and he says, "I just can't deal with it." Hey, somebody asked about Wim Hof, and do you recommend it? And what would be the difference? Like, can you describe for people a lot of respect for Wim Hof? He brought a lot of eyes to breath work and made it clinical, took it out of the shadows.
hmm
But I've also worked with a lot of Wim Hof practitioners or devotees over time, and they start to have a lot of physical issues in the body. So, what would you recommend around what is Wim Hof breathing, and what are some of the other styles?
Yeah. Yeah, I think Wim Hof is a style of breathing that could work for a lot of people, and it has worked for a lot of people. I mean, obviously, it's gained popularity because people try it. Um, but I think that it doesn't work for some people too. I think it's pretty general. It's a lot of hyperventilation and breath holds. The premise of it is kind of hyperventilate, hold your breath. So there is like some off gassing CO2, and then there's rebuilding a little bit of it. I think that there needs to be like people need to go through kind of a testing protocol and understand where they're at with their breath, and if they're already hyperventilators and they're already hyper aroused and in those states, they might need to do some other practices that are more down regulating and more like my big focus is a lot for a lot of people as is the CO2 work, because I feel like most people need that.
So that's a good point. So his is a lot of upregulating because you can. It's like if you have ADHD, you can take speed, Ritalin,
hmm
to bring your brain up high so that you actually can calm down. But
hmm
the other way to do it is to take out the stressors and then calm down. If you go high too often,
hmm
you'll start to create a dependency or an addiction to the high. So you
yeah
actually create because breathing creates hormone release in the body, same as
hmm
drugs.
yeah
So you can be addicted to a breathing cycle too.
yeah I think that's I think is probably the biggest part of that with Wim Hof, because you are feeling that high and you're feeling pretty good for a while. You're getting some of those hormones released, and then wears off. But
Yeah.
I think I'm not. Yeah, I don't like shit on Wim Hof. I think he's great as a general like an approach. He's an approach to.
It's like it's like using a shotgun rather than a sniper rifle. You're going to broadly get a little bit of everything, but a
Mm-hmm.
sniper rifle you're gonna go right to the target and get it. And
Yeah.
so that's why I say with Wim Hof breathing, that's why I appreciate what he did to bring it into the awareness of the general public.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a very broad breathing technique, and like you said, like when people do drugs, some are uppers, some are downers, some like heroin, some like cocaine.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why they like heroin or cocaine. It's because their nervous system's asking for it. Wim Hof is cocaine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if you need a calming heroin, down-regulating breath, then that's what you said, a testing protocol. Now, where
Yeah.
would someone find a testing protocol? Well, first of all, actually, you can go back and watch for the last couple of months, you can watch CO Tuesdays.
Yeah, we have a couple
and you
different
go
ones
through
on there.
our videos that are on our website, on our YouTube, and on our Instagram every Tuesday. And from there, you can actually go through where you taught people how to test their breath, right?
We did different tests. I do a lot of tests with my one-on-one clients. That's our first session usually. We run through a bunch of different tests, everything from testing the breath to testing capacity to testing movement, and that kind of stuff. So all those things will kind of give you some more of an answer where that's how I program my because it's just like anything. It's just like going to the gym. Like if you came in and you hired a trainer and they're just like, yeah, you're doing bodybuilding. You're like, I want to be more flexible. And it's like, yeah, well, you're doing bodybuilding. So it's kind of the same thing with if you're just doing Wim Hof with everybody broadly. It's just not.
It's one style of breathing.
Yeah.
But you need different styles for different
Yeah.
times. So someone here, and I know it's a good question because what are your thoughts on Buteyko breathing? I mean, which is the foundation of some of the stuff we just did.
It is, yeah. I use a lot of Buteyko stuff, and kind of spin off on my own as well. But like honestly, like Buteyko is great, and it's the same exact answer I would give for Wim Hof. If it's the style you need. I use a lot of free diving techniques as well, which I think have come a long way, and they pull a lot from yoga and stuff too, but kind of use modern science to kind of understand it a little bit better.
Every breath, whether it's a nostril, right or left, whether it's in through the nose, out through the mouth, blowing out, holding, breathing in, holding, staging, air packing, they all create a different effect.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a formula, and not one of them, and no person is exactly the same, and no person is exactly the same all the time. So it's basically learning what are the inputs. Like if you're gonna, it's like making a sandwich. It's like you got your mayo, you got your mustard, you've got your vegetables, you've got your protein, whatever that is, you've got
Mm-hmm.
your types of bread, and you just figure out which one suits you or none of them, and maybe it's something completely different. Maybe it's laying in the ground in a fetal trauma release.
Yeah. That's the thing is some people that have they're like hypersensitive to that style of breath, and they have some traumas and stuff. Maybe it can re-traumatize, or that kind of stuff can come back up even from Wim Hof sometimes. So it's generally good, generally safe, but sometimes not good for everybody.
I was going to answer this real question about, it's not off topic, but zeolite, great, but diatomaceous earth, Irish sea moss, and like a burdock root is everything you need. Zeolite is very specific. And it has a lot of good stuff, but it's not complete. I feel like it went up to my head and it's stuck. Okay, so there's a good one. Have you ever had that one? I feel like it went to my head.
We always get it in certain areas when we do this kind of stuff. So the best way we can kind of define this is sometimes the breath, the CO2 and how we're breathing will go to areas that maybe need or have maybe there was physical actual like acute trauma. Maybe there are other tensions that are going on there. I'm not sure if that's
let's do a
something
couple
going on.
fascial maneuvers to release the head.
Mm-hmm.
Here, take your right palm, put it on your right temple backwards. Left palm on your left temple forwards. Squeeze, and then turn to the center, so twisting, and then move the head around and breathe. Open and close your jaw. Okay, good. That feels good.
Mm-hmm.
Another really quick one, I mean, the other one is the hair pull, but a really good one is to put your thumbs in your ears, grab the lobes, turn it, like crank it really hard, and open and close your jaw. Look up and open and close. Chin to chest, open and close. Look up to the right, open and close. Look up to the left, open and close. And that'll take all that good oxygen that we just produced, and that'll open it up into the limbic region of the brain.
That one.
Yeah, it mechanically, what happens is that because we stand, one of the pressure lines comes in through the body, up through the SCM area, over the top of the head. That's a pressure line. That pressure line actually affects the compression of the cranial plates right over the midbrain. That's over the midbrain. So when you do the ears, that's why all of a sudden, usually things look a little bit brighter. My
Mm-hmm.
brain calms down. Super powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where a fascial maneuver comes in really good, because she was saying it felt stuck, and if it felt stuck, likely it is stuck. And then the other part of that is getting mineralization. Right now, especially, and we're seeing this in unbelievable numbers right now. People are having swelling in different areas of the body, the hands, the forearms, the elbows, the foot, the knees, the ankles. And there's a lot of reasons for it. I mean, I don't want to go into all the things that people have done over the last couple of years that have made this, but the answer to it in every case is to highly mineralize the body, diatomaceous earth, Irish moss. I take boron or boric acid or borax, or any one of those. I often use borax because we travel and I can't get boric acid, or I can't get boron sometimes. And carrying little bags of white powder across the borders doesn't work very well. What is it? Diatomaceous earth.
Yeah, sniff a little bit.
I don't understand. What is it? Diatomaceous earth. Guns out. What is it? On the ground.
I've done it. I've done it quite a few times.
I had to pay some bills first. That's why I haven't got to it. Oh, second here. Okay, let's second here. Let's try one more person. Alexandra Michelle. Let's see what Alexandra Michelle has. Oh, she declined. Let's go one more. Nicole Young. Maria the Greek. Mark Harrison Media. I do before bed. Yeah, doing something like this before bed is really good too, right? You're gonna sleep really good. I don't feel energy like stimulation energy. I feel energized. Actually, I don't feel tired anymore. Is the best way to say it. Yeah. So instead of saying I feel energized, I don't feel tired is a better way to say it. Yeah. I think also my fascial fuel is just kicking in right about now.
Getting a little combo.
Yeah, remind me. Send me a text message. I'll send you out some more.
Okay, cool. Sure. Alexandra says she's ready. I'm gonna try her again.
Do we ever
try calling?
Do singing or chanting? Somebody asking about singing and chanting. Yeah, I mean that a little bit of you do. I mean, you do chanting, don't you?
Yeah, I mean we do. Yeah, that always use the voice for, you know, if you want the quickest way to downregulate, humming, singing, any kind of vibration through here to the vocal cords, to the lips. Somebody
says after the breathing, I felt the release in my upper stomach. It released emotions that were there for since I was 10 years old.
Wow.
Oh, powerful. Well, that's pretty cool. Okay. That's good. So we have coming up here, again, you and Lisa, I need you to get the dates down. We've got a four-part workshop. It's a breathing workshop.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. 4-part. Lisa's looking over me like, what? 4-part breathing workshop. And so that's actually going to be coming up here. Look on the event section. And it's a breathing and mindset. So you're not only doing breath work, you're doing mindset. Probably what else will be contained in that?
Yeah, so we're gonna do, it'll be like a little bit of breath science, a little bit of mindset work, where we're kind of using my partner Steve will be doing the mindset part. It's really cool. We apply, he's kind of versed in Indian cosmology, which is really unique and cool. And then we use what you guys do within the mindset part of it, and then we apply it to the transformative breath session at the end.
So somebody asked about Kundalini yoga. I don't know what your experience is with that.
Yeah, that 100%. Yeah, that's I mean, it's the basic practice of Kundalini yoga is great for down regulating. It's exactly what it is.
And Kundalini also has some upregulating motions too. They teach you pretty good. They teach you in and out, breath of fire, breath of calm, stuff like that. And they teach mudras, which are really powerful. I find when I'm doing breath work with you, you probably see me, especially on the floor, I'll be laying around. I have hand mudras. I'm twisting on the ground, look like a crab all twisted up. I find that really, really powerful.
I just thought you were flicking me off the whole time, so I was kind of confused.
Okay, Ryan, this is awesome. Thank you so much. Looking forward to the 4-part series. We'll have a date up here.
Yeah.
Let's have a date by the end of the week.
get with Lisa today, and I'll figure
Yeah.
that out. Cool.
And then we'll see everybody. We'll see you here for next week, Tuesday. You came at the perfect time. I legitimately feel fantastic.
Beautiful. Love it. Love to hear that, man. All right. I'll see
Who
you
came at the
next
perfect
week
time.
then.
Thanks,
All right.
Ryan. Take
See
care.
ya.
Bye bye.